All righty. The next conversation is with my guy who's near and dear to my heart. Um, he's actually an example of my college career more more ways than one. I'm gonna introduce everybody. Clifford Jefferson. Cliff, good morning.
Good morning, man. Good morning. Happy to be here.
So quick story. So Cliff's a couple years older than me, and
Yeah.
had a jersey number that I was interested in. I
Hey, man, you should
came
have told
in
me.
look, I came in wanting number 9 because that was my high school number. All right. I wanted number 9,
Yeah.
my high school numbers. They gave me 38 my freshman year. I had to wear it my freshman and sophomore year, which is just awful. 38 is just terrible on any jersey, right?
Yeah.
So I had 38. I was like, boy, when I get a chance to get out of 38, I'm grabbing number 9. Well, Beckstrom wouldn't come off. Beckstrom grabbed number 9 from Jared
Ah.
Clark. So Clark wanted number 1, right? So Beckstrom was older. He grabbed number 9. They were like, "Yo, Cliff's leaving. You want 1-5?" I said, "Hell yeah, I want that 1-5. Let me get that. Let me get that 15." So Clifford Jefferson, who's a couple years older, actually wore number 15 before me, and the 15 has come down through my family. Both my kids wear 15. Is how we go in the house.
Yeah.
So that's our relationship, and we get to see Cliff and his family almost shoot what Cliff maybe every other year, at
Yeah.
least every
Almost every year, almost about. Shoot.
every
Where
year.
we travel.
Yeah. That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
At least 15 months, half a year, something like that. Yeah.
With Cliff's playing experience, he's also a father of 4. He's also been the primary trainer of his kids. And I think we're both very passionate about one subject, and that's athlete or player development. Let's jump right into it. Tell me your overall philosophy of or your opinion of what player development means.
So player development, it means is one, training, understanding the game, two, study. And then most importantly is the mind mentality set of athlete.
Mhm.
Today's age of kids, they have so many easy access of I guess social media devices that can kind of deter them from doing what they're supposed to do. I also I created I had a girls basketball team. So let me tell you how I got started, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah, let's do
originally
that. Let's do that.
Yeah, so originally I was playing like semi-pro. I was playing, still trying to play football, and I guess what you call it, considered 37U. I had a good time doing it, but then my girls got older and they started playing basketball, and so my oldest for sure. So I went to all the games, watched her play, and she was athletic, of course. Um, and what I noticed was the coach's attention to his players.
Mm,
And this is why I got into coaching more
mm,
so, like in the development part of it. My daughter was new. She didn't really play basketball, but she could dribble a little bit. You know how when you first start to dribble, but those other girls that were really good and that could dribble real good and, control the ball and all that kind of stuff. And when I would go to the practices, I would notice the training or the aspects of what he was doing as far as developing the kids to be better wasn't there. It was more, let's pass the ball to this girl, do this, and she controls and do everything. And and generally, as a basketball player, it's like, and I'm not 6 feet plus, but I love playing basketball. And
mhm,
usually, when you see in the youth realm of it, is you have that six that guy that's or a girl that's taller, and let's just put them in the center and just let them stand there and just hey, you play the center, and you don't really dribble and all this kind of stuff. And I
mhm,
didn't like that. And
mhm.
so, the following year, I actually joined the rec league and I became a coach. And I took my daughter and a couple of girls from that team, because the parents, I knew athletics and I trained and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, they joined my team. And the girls that year, the previous year, they did good. And I think they went to the championship and won.
Okay.
But the next year, I took my girls, and I took every girl and they did pretty much the same drills.
Mm,
If you were a taller girl, you learn how to bring the ball up court. If you was a smaller girl, you learn post moves
mhm,
because all realms of the game you need to, those aspects. And far as that, it was like, okay, that year we won, I think we won all of our games, and then we ended up making to the championship and played that team in the we
mhm.
actually no, we lost to that team during the season, but in the playoffs we made it to that game in the championship, and we actually beat that team by I'm gonna
Right.
say about like 15 points. And so it was uplifting to see that because the effort, the coaching, the expertise and that the girls learned, it helped them out for as they were able to succeed.
Mhm,
And my daughter became one of like the primary ball handlers, and I'm a right hander. My daughter's a right hander, but I wanted them to learn how to dribble both hands, crossovers, and they do moves that I can't do to this day.
mhm,
And then from that point, it carried on. And so like you said, I have two. So I have two girls, two boys. Um, and when my boys got of age, and I started coaching them, I didn't. I kind of wanted to step back from, I guess, the 37 U's. So as I got older, body started breaking down a little bit more.
mhm, mhm.
Um, stuff started setting in, and
Yep,
I can't get out there and run no 4-3 no more, whatever it is.
yep,
Hamstring give
yep,
out on me again real quick.
yep.
And so when my boys started getting older, I realized similar aspects of it. Um, it was a little bit more attention to it, but I wanted better for my sons and my daughters. So
Mhm,
um, along with that, I just start buying equipment, things that I can help advance them that I didn't have.
yep,
I came from a single family home, raised by my grandmother, and I remember the days I tell my kids all the time. It's like I remember, coming home from high school or coming home from middle school, and hey, I go. I didn't have a jump rope, so I get a extension cord, some telephone cable, and
mhm.
and you remember that hanger that had like the little cardboard, whatever, and I break that in
Yep,
piece.
at the
And
bottom, yep,
yes, I'll use that as a handle, and I
yep.
fish the telephone cord through, and I had a jump rope,
There
and
you go.
it
Easy.
hurt when it hit me, but
Yep, but
but
that'll teach you about how to get that footwork right.
yeah, yeah, I got the feet up, the legs up, but it hurt when it hit me, but I did it, and it's all that kind of stuff, that development stuff. I didn't have all the tools and stuff that they have right now, and so
Mhm,
now, and what I did was I just started training my kids, and then along with that, as far as like ladder work, pulling sleds, and you probably seen videos. And the funny thing, my kids, we still laugh to it by this day, and I was still working out, so I was trying to stay in shape, trying to keep my body
yep,
right. And
yep.
my wife Veronica was trying to hold me out like on a harness thing, and I didn't realize, I thought she was gonna be able to hold me, and so I ended up, pulling her and dragging her on the ground. So yeah, so we just start training, and kids start coming about, and and I did it for the love. I didn't do it for, hey, let me try to make some money or get here. My wife to this day, she like, hey, you need to charge this, and these guys here, they go here and they charge here. This it's like, for me, it's not about that. It's about
Mhm,
helping kids advance their career, either maybe academically or give them an avenue to say, "Hey, I can be one of those top athletes," and to work to get there. And so I would train and train and train kids, and as I got older, my financial bank account got a little bit bigger, and so
mhm,
as I got a little bit bigger, I got to get some write-offs, 'cause,
mhm.
and so I created a girls basketball team once the girls got a little bit older, and we started doing travel ball, and so I named my team the Real Game Players, and it
Okay,
kind of stems back to when I grew up. Um, I, my neighborhood was, I guess, we call ourselves RGP, and so it was Russell Glenn players, a posse, whatever. We was the guys that, hey, we had our shirts off. It was about 15 guys, and actually, one of the guys actually went to Notre Dame before us back in the '93,
okay,
Alton Mayton, and so
okay.
so it was about 15 of us. I would say pretty much all of us pretty much got football scholarships, just about. So I see
Mm,
about 90%.
mm,
And we would go up to like the neighborhood school, and we meet this neighborhood and we play them in football, throw up tackle, and we were all out there 15 on 15 or 20 on 20, and we're
mhm,
playing. So and that's kind of where that kind of stemmed from, that RGP, the Russell Glenn Posse players or whatever it was. And so what
right.
I changed that name to was Real Game Players. And that's how that came about. And so uh, after a couple of years of playing, I stopped playing. I put my focus more in that. And luckily, I got lucky that a buddy of mine that I knew, making connections, offered me. I asked him out, and he let me use his gym for free. So I wasn't. I won't say free, but but yeah, it was free. He let me use it for free. And so for me, I didn't charge the you travel ball, right? I didn't charge the kids a lot. It was
Okay.
more just like, hey, $50 a month for the kids, and that kind of just gave me an opportunity to say, hey, we can do two games a month, um, maybe three. It all
Mhm,
kind of depends. At travel ball, the games kind of fluctuate. You may get high prices, low prices, and
mhm,
dribble the ball cross between the legs. And a lot of times you don't get that with like the taller kids, and far as the aspect. And then for as football, kids start developing, get faster, understanding the game, technique, moves, and everything like
mhm,
that. And so I just kept that about. And then so I did the travel ball for a while, and we actually won some championships. I went to Vegas. I want
okay.
to say I forgot when the girls how old they were, but I had two groups. So as the girls developed, we started out like a 7-8 team, and then we did it for a couple years. Then I had a high school team, like a freshman team, and then I had a still a middle school team.
Right.
We went to Vegas, one of the biggest tournaments, like it was the Jam on It tournament, and
Okay,
we
okay.
won both divisions. So my young girls won the championship, and my older girls won.
That's
And so,
crazy.
yeah, yeah. And you know me, I don't play. I'm not tall enough to play basketball, but I just understand the game, and I just like anybody else. I watch videos, and like I don't know everything, so I always
Right.
look and I learn. And so even like that, we won that championship. Went down to San Diego, won another championship, and we were always winning. And so same thing with that. Then once the girls kind of phased out and they went to high school, I branched that over to like a 7-on-7 team with my boys as they
Right.
got older. And then so when we did that, same thing. We would, you have your bumps and bruises the first couple games. And like I tell my kids now that at high school, hey, I would have won a championship by now. And y'all playing games, I would have won a championship.
Yep.
Like along with that is like I'm having like Dobby, Dobby, he's younger, and I had him playing high school, and he's out there doing high school guys, and you kind of can see the development, trades the development. And you get my kids, and so it's like there's other kids like that, and you see my kids, and you can tell that in their body structure, they work out. Their legs, their arms, their shoulders, their physique. You could tell they work out. And so, uh, we end up winning games. And so, like I said, my whole thing was development, development,
So
development.
take me here. And I'm here. This is where I'm gonna kind of curve this conversation. Stay on the development. Obviously, we're talking about development. My kids played up. Okay.
Mhm.
They played up. They had some success or a lot of success at their age group to where they need to be challenged. So we played them up, whether it was a season or 2 seasons, or whatever the case may be. We wanted to play them up so they can get some resistance and pushback. Okay. What's your philosophy on playing kids up, when to play them up, or just let them rock out at their age group?
I would say when they're ready and they're dominating their age level. Like, for instance, my girls, but when I noticed that, like, say for instance, basketball, I had, like I said, I had an older girl team, and Allie was really in that younger girl team, but in between, almost in a way. And when I understand that she could understand it mentally, and also understand that, hey, not the fear. And the
Mhm.
biggest thing is getting kids over the fear, because now you have a bigger kid, they a little bit more intimidating, and when a kid is doesn't let that factor affect them how they play, then they're ready. Because you and I know both, we go to Notre Dame and you walk in the locker room, we see Corey Minor, you see these big
Yep,
dudes, and it's like
yep.
these dudes are
Hold
like the
up.
dude on the mannequin in Dicks.
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
You play my position. Or, David Gibbons is like, dude,
right.
you
Who did up to
yeah,
you?
yeah. Kids get intimidated, and when kids learn that hey, I can also too be a factor, and that I understand my skill and understand what they know how to do, then you're ready. But if you got a kid that's like timid and say you think he's big because he's that, and maybe he's doing good, he's doing okay at his level. Nah, don't play him up. Let him learn and get the confidence, because the biggest thing is confidence. If you don't have the confidence to play up or play in a bigger level, and it can be, it can have a reverse effect. So now the kid, you know, start getting down on himself, and kids these age, they have so much social influence that it can deter them how they view life and view aspects of how they play. Yeah.
Is there a certain type of tone in a conversation or certain comments that you may hear from your kids that you're like, okay, it's time for you to go up. Like you way too cocky, son, or girl, you
Yeah.
way too cocky, or you want that smoke? All right, well we moving up to 14U then. You 12, we gonna play 14U next season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think for like my girls playing basketball, it was always the way they carried themselves, and you could
yeah,
kinda tell the way they
yeah,
carried themselves is like
yep,
when they walked on the court, it was like
yep.
they knew that, hey, they were good. Like, my boys is like when they walk out on the field or they walk to a certain place, they had that confidence, and they had that confidence and skill that they knew, it's all about that. I think that part of it, um the demeanor, 'cause, your kid could be, like, sluggish going in, and they're, like, looking like, "Oh, man, these kids are,
Yep.
way bigger than me," or this is that. When you have that confidence where you're not scared to play like that, and you're not scared to face those factors in your life, and you're ready for a new challenge, and it may be tough, but you're ready to fight through it, and when they can get through that, then they're ready, you know?
I preach to my son's in college now, and my daughters are freshmen in high school, and all throughout when they were coming up, I would preach to them. You walk on the field or you walk on the court, everybody in the gym needs to know you the man.
Yeah,
Everybody in the stadium needs to know who the alpha on the field is. Even if you're not, they
yeah,
usually are, but even if you're not, you walk on chin up, shoulders out, chest out, shoulders up. Everybody in the stadium knows who's the alpha.
yeah, yeah,
And I try to I think one thing that an advantage that our kids have is that they've been coached by former athletes who played at the highest level where confidence, especially for our position, like you
yeah,
have to have your confidence got to be
yeah.
pouring over. Like
You out there by yourself.
right, because you by yourself. It's just you. So your
Yeah,
belief in you has to be crazy high. So
yeah,
because it's especially when my daughter's getting ready to go into camp season for her after, she's going to go into her sophomore season, which is
uh-huh,
kind of starting that recruiting process for her in her sport. And
yeah,
those college coaches are looking for that oozing confidence. When you step into and you step in front of college coach, you step on that field and you're trying to compete with all these other great players. I know before you even rock out oh, she's legit.
yeah,
Everybody like here's a good example. Here's a good example because we were both in the basketball gym. When that maybe you heard about a star player. You've never seen this star player play. You've heard about him or her. When
yeah,
he or she walks into that gym with the backpack on a certain way, with their headphones on a certain way, with
Yeah,
the hoodie on a certain way, with the shoes laced up a certain way. You're like, oh, there she go.
yeah,
There you go. And you didn't even have
yeah.
to see him play, but you know who that person
How
just
they
the way
carry
they
themselves.
carry themselves. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Because I tell my kids, walk tall, walk high.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they keep themselves respectable, and so they amongst their peers, they look that way. And then
Yeah.
as far as the bodybuilder and everything else, they look that part, and I know like my youngest son, he's a little bit shorter than Trey, but
Mhm.
Trey is he's taller than me now, 6'1",
Mhm.
and so
Mhm.
and then when you look at him, I looked at his development for over years, and you're going through your pictures, like my phone getting full, so I go through my pictures. I'm like, dude, man, this dude, he's like really ripped, and I'm like sitting here, and I'm like, man, I can't let him
I
outdo
can't.
me.
Hey, you hit that bench press.
Yeah, let him outdo me, man, he getting there, and I was we was in the weight room last night, and at school, and he was lifting weights, and he was just hitting the weights with ease, and you can kind of see like what you're saying is like I see, I'm scoping the room, and guys are watching, how he's lifting the weights, and he's just maxing out. A lot of kids, like I said, they didn't have that development, and so they get to high school and they can't lift that weight, and so because he's at that point where he's doing it with ease, and it's
Yeah.
just like, man, it's like, oh wow, and kids kind of respect that, and then that's where you earn that leadership, and gets you in the leadership roles for later for life also,
A lot of
Yeah,
folks come in and like, yo, you excited for Xavier you excited for him to come home in the summer? And I'd be like, yeah, I'm excited for him to come home. But I'm excited for one reason. I want to see how his body's changed from now going through his first spring into his
yeah,
summer because we've been there. Your body changes, right? And
yeah,
you start looking at yourself, you start getting ripped, and you want to walk around your house with your shirt off. Hey man, hey, you better put that damn shirt on. Ain't but one person
yeah,
can walk around this damn house with no shirt on. Now that's me. You ain't put your damn shirt on. Don't be thinking you
yeah,
big, bro. Put that chest back in there. But you're excited to see how his body changes and how he develops after going
yeah,
through that first off season in college ball. Because
yeah,
now it's a job, right? It ain't for fun. It's for real, for real. And
yeah.
that's that developmental process at a higher level, but it's still that developmental piece that we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, like on another note, is as far as like Trey, is like I recently got asked like, hey, do you want to go to varsity or do you want to stay now? Because right now I coach the freshmen
Mhm.
at the high school I'm at, and like I said, at the freshman level, you got that development part of it. At that varsity level, you got guys that they kind of went into their way, they understand what they're doing, and it's some development, but it's still more they got these other trainers or they got this and that. And so with that, it's like kind of rather stay down
Mhm.
just on that
Mhm.
on that part of it because I don't I've done my duty and I'm still there on the sideline for the varsity games to,
Mhm.
hey, coach guys up, coach my son up, but I done my duty and I want to see him grow. That's
Yeah.
part of development. You know,
Yeah.
if if you're not training them to grow and they just stay stagnant, then you're not doing a good job. You maybe need to revamp or think of another way to do what you're doing to help the development. Because I feel that now that they have sprouted their wings and they understand the defense, they understand what they're doing, they run around, they're making plays. I feel like that development part is going into play, and that's how you start to use the tools that you're taught, and I see that in them, and so it's like, hey, I can be there, like a fly on the wall. Hey, remind them to do this and that. But I see that development going into play.
And then you also see when the athletes aren't on that developmental plan.
Yeah,
Meaning they're taking days off,
yeah,
meaning they're not doing outside work. And
yeah,
because you have the experience of coaching, developing your own kids, developing other kids, playing at a high level, you're like, yo, the results are gonna come and you're gonna see the fruit of your labor, which is none. Like
yeah,
your playing time's gonna drop. You're gonna go to camp and you're gonna look average. You're gonna be in front of college coaches. They're gonna be like, huh, because
yeah,
you weren't doing this stuff when nobody was looking. It's
Yeah,
going to catch up to you. At
yeah,
some point in time, it's gonna catch up to you. And
yeah,
the athletes who are putting in those daily deposits,
yeah,
their results are gonna come also, and you're gonna see that spread. You're gonna see that
yeah,
spread, but those who are doing and those who are not. Those who
yeah,
are talking a good game, those who are actually doing the good game.
yeah, yeah. And the thing about like right now, we got track season. Our coach he's a good
Mhm,
coach, and so you got and the thing about it, track season runs in 7-on-7 season. And
mhm.
you and I know both. When we went to college, we off season was what you worked out and you
Yep, you
got
work.
better,
Yep,
stronger, faster,
faster.
whatever.
Yep.
Right? And so, like, with that, I we have a couple kids that are like, "Hey, I wanna go do 7-on-7," or, "Hey, Imma quit track to go do this," and I try to tell them, like, so I went on a visit with my son, like, one Easter, I went to visit my son, and the college coach didn't mention anything about football.
Mm.
He asked about his track time.
Yep.
And then I take that and I looked and I other day I looked at, forgot what there was a receiver or something like that I was looking up, and when I looked up his stuff on Wikipedia and all that kinda stuff, it mentioned a little bit here and there, and it went like the first 2 sentences, track times. He ran at 10.4, this and that. And I go and say that, it's like, I got a kid that's a receiver, and he was like, I I don't know if he wanted to quit because he wanted to go, "Hey, go run the streets," or not run the streets, but go hang out with his friends, or, "Hey, me
Mhm.
go play 7-on-7." 7-on-7 is good, and it teaches somewhat bad habits because kids hold and all this kinda stuff. You gotta get
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
Quarterback's
Yep.
not dropping his drops. He
Yep.
don't have anybody in
Yep.
space, and
Yeah.
you can
Ain't got
just
no
run
lineman up
around.
there. Yep.
And no lineman, no pressure. Receiver can just run around. You got no threat of, "Hey, this guy may hit me and this and that." And it goes say it's like, I understand it you could do it here and there, but use this all season to go better, back faster, bigger, stronger than you did the previous year. So now when you get to that following season, you see that development, like you said, the college coaches see it, and it's like, and I go to tell them like, "Hey, this time you used to gain your speed, so now when you're running your routes, hey, that guy respects you a little bit more. 'Cause, as a DB, it's like you got a fast receiver, a small receiver, a tall receiver.
Yep.
You got to change how you're covering the receiver, or even as a DB, your receiver, you got whoever you are, you got to change. If this guy's stronger than you, and this is not that development part in that all season, it's kind of where it's at. Take the time to let your body relax from what you're doing and go back to think about it. When we were younger, we did different sports. We
All the
ran
time.
out. Yeah, we
Yep.
we was running, doing this and that. And somebody that brought it to me, it was like, you know, and I look at girls, like girls in general. Like
Mhm.
if you look at girl sports like soccer, girls like do a lot of soccer, baseball, and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of stagnant. That's all they
Mm.
do. So they
Mm.
always use them same muscles. And they
Mhm.
really never develop them. And so you'll see a lot of girls that come in, they have ACL injuries and stuff like that because they always work those one muscles and they never working other kind of muscles and building those legs up to
Right.
like do a lateral movement or just they always going forward or so those parts like hurting themselves. They're not doing the extra stuff and all that kind of stuff. Like we used to go play basketball, go football. We used to tag, run around the streets. We're moving left and right, racing in the streets. And I think all that part, it was it was our way of developing ourselves. And now the kids got all these tools. It's like
Yep.
use them.
Yep.
I understand you play football, but don't go play football in the fall. You're not, you know, use that to get stronger and faster. You can keep it doing the movements, but if you got a chance to run track, hey, I mean, that's like I said, when they I looked up people online, I saw track times. Use some of that to do another sport to help you get better, faster, and stronger.
And at
That's
the
where
same
it's
time, so let me tell you, I'm gonna jump on this what you said. When
yeah,
you look up people, right?
yeah,
I do the same thing, and I don't know if enough athletes do this. So I'm not a big recruiting person. I don't follow recruiting in any sport, but I do have certain resources. Let's just say Instagrams.
yeah.
Instagrams. I have certain Instagram accounts that I follow because they will tell you certain athletes who commit at certain schools. So I had that for my son with football. I wanted to compare him to
Mhm.
all the other quarterbacks that were coming out in certain classes so I could see where he stacked up. Oh yeah, he's
Yeah,
good here. Nah, he don't do this like that kid. Well, he does
yeah,
this like that kid. So you're starting to build that benchmark to see how much further you got to keep clawing to see where he wants to be recruited at and where he
Yeah,
needs to get to, right? I do the
yeah,
same thing with my daughter. Okay, well, yeah, I think she's here, but such and such just signed with North Carolina, and this girl
yeah,
signed with Northwestern. Okay,
yeah,
well, yeah, she's rocks out with her here, but wait, this girl right here, she's got elite. This is we ain't there yet. So I'm always kind of I'm using these resources to kind of see where my kids need to see what else I need to deposit into their training, into the development, what they're
yep,
missing, right? Not always
yeah,
harping on their strengths. We always want to build on their strength, but she's missing this. We got to build this up. Or my
yeah.
son's missing this. We got to build this up.
I hate to look at the negatives, but it's like, yeah, you need to do that.
Yep.
Yeah,
We have to. We have
yeah,
to. We gotta fill these holes. And you gotta be
yeah,
realistic. You gotta be realistic as a parent or a developer or a trainer. You gotta be realistic to help the athlete get where they need to be.
yeah. And like I go back to what I said earlier. I constantly like look at Instagram or videos. I'll Google stuff. And there may be something that a technique or that we
Mhm.
learned that I've kind of just blew by and forgot in my mind thinking that, oh, they knew about it, or maybe some kind of training method that some people are using now that they kind of figured out, hey, that I never used, and I'm like, okay, and
Yeah.
I like, okay, let me use that, let me do that,
Yeah.
and then along with that, it's like my development myself and within myself, like, hey, as a like coach or trainer, hey, maybe I can broaden and say, I don't have to just do DBs or receivers or running backs.
That part.
I can help out linemen. I can do this, even quarterbacks, my boy JC, uh, I wasn't a quarterback coach, but I took him, helped him get to where he's at right now, and he's doing pretty good. So, along the line with that is, just developing within yourself, and then helping your players that you're coaching. Because it all starts from that. If you got to start from that foundation, then you work from that, and you see what these kids are producing, and you're like, hey, you can work on this, but hey, good job on that. You know, but just working them little tidbits.
I'm gonna end our conversation like this. I want you to treat me as if like I'm a parent who just walked up on you at at a game, right? And I know
Yeah,
this is your son or I know this is your daughter. And
yeah.
like, oh my look, hey, Mr. Jefferson, like your son or your daughter, like he or she, they're fantastic. Like, what did you do? Like, what do they work out? How did you get them to this stage? What would you tell me?
For me, I would say I started young. A lot of people say that I know my kids started young, so I built that into their system at a young age. Hey, the development part, the work ethic, because you and I both know that hey, sometimes this stuff your career's not promised, and so
Mhm.
you have to work to what you're getting to as far as and it builds like character, right? So in your lifestyle, right? So uh, when you build that certain character, like this person always does this, and that, and that work ethic that they have. Hey, I'm a work to be the best at everything I do, regardless of wherever I'm at. That hey, I'm a put effort into it. And it goes in hand with like schoolwork, schoolwork, classwork, and then in further in life when you start, get into the work life you want to be better than what you are. And so I say, hey, what I did with my kids, I started young with them to instill those values into them that,
Mhm.
hey,
Mhm.
even though I'm good at this, I can also work to be better at that.
Mhm.
And don't limit yourself is what I always
Mhm.
tell my kids. And I get them here and there. I throw little tidbits at them. Hey, you could be, for me, I tell them, I say, hey, I tell my kids, I say, hey, you see that kid over there? You see how he's doing? And build that competition because
Yep.
I got boys and I got
Yep.
girls, and so that competition part of it feeds that energy of that athlete, that hunger, almost that monster, like I got to be better than him or I got to be better than that. And so I I I I don't pin them against each other, but I kind of give him that edge where hey he's over there doing this, or say a friend of ours is doing that, to give him that edge and say hey there's something that I could be doing to do that somebody else is out there doing, so I can't let them get the edge on me.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, I knew this was gonna be a good conversation, man, and I appreciate you taking time out your work day over in Cali,
But no problem, man.
to tap in with me. But I'm gonna end the recording, but don't hang up. Fair,
Yeah.
my man.